We have attached the T-post to both of our inner feet. And then I have the string that's hanging off. And that allows me to also lift the T-post with my hand. So this crimping method is part of a no-till agriculture regimen.
It's about preparing the ground for the next crop, feeding the ground, adding organic matter, improving the tilth, which is like the texture. There's a whole world going on under there. Digging into the ground is disrupting the whole ecosystem and community of organisms that are establishing themselves, that are nourishing plants, that are tunneling through and making space for roots and air and water. And so the less disturbance of the underground world, the more robust and resilient and supportive of plant growth that underground world will become.
And so what we're doing is we're planting cover crops, and by terminating them when they're in flower, all of the goodness that's in these cover crops can go back into the soil. So we're crimping them, and then we're going to cover them up. During that phase, all of that wonderful organic matter will then go back into the soil. And then all that will be left is some straw on top that then we can use for mulching.
Today I'm planting eggplant into this field where we cover cropped in the winter and then crimped and then smothered with the weed fabric, and now it's this nicely prepared pre-mulch bed that's ready to receive the eggplant. And all I'm going to do is pull the residue aside, and then I'm going to use my shovel to dig a hole. That's the right size for my plant. I'm going to put a little bit of organic chicken manure based fertilizer in here, and then I'm going to transplant right into here. You can see the basic soil is super just like dense red clay, but all this darker material, all of this organic matter that's been added has been because of cover cropping. If you wanted to direct sow into this ground, it would take a couple of extra steps, but what I would do is just pull the cover crop away in a strip or row where I want to direct sow, and then I would use a shovel or a hoe to loosen the soil and just prepare a nice seed bed and sow right into that. If you want to learn more about cover crops, about mulch, about soil tending, about seed starting, and so much more, the advantages of crimping instead of cutting with a weed whacker or with a tractor, depending on your scale. The advantages of crimping and smothering is that more of the nutrients from the plants actually go down into the soil. The plants are still connected with their roots, and roots actually exude all kinds of nutrients out into the soil to feed all the organisms in the rhizosphere. And the crimping allows the nutrients from the above ground parts to actually go back down into the roots and feed the soil more effectively. Whereas when you cut, especially if you cut without smothering, almost all of the nutrients from the above ground parts, especially the nitrogen, just volatilize and go into the air. So this method injects more of the nutrition that was amassed in the cover crop down into the soil to feed the soil, which is ultimately why we're doing the cover cropping, along with preventing weeds from taking over by leaving a bed uncovered and protecting the soil with the bodies of the cover crop to keep things cool and moist so that the biology in the soil thrives. It's all about feeding and protecting the soil, and this method does that more effectively. That being said, if I can't wait a month to let the smothering after the crimping fully kill the cover crop and inject all those nutrients into the soil, cutting can be fine. If you can do the crimping and smothering, it will fortify and protect the soil. So this was a mixed cover crop. The majority of it was winter rye, but there was also some tillage radish and Austrian winter pea mixed in there. The winter rye is the most voluminous. It's what you see, this mixed straw here. And we left the plastic on for a month. So particularly with winter rye, it's really important to terminate it when it's in flower, which is what we did in the previous video, and to make sure that it's really all the way dead before you start planting into it, because it will sprout back up. It's pretty tenacious. It's great because it makes so much biomass. It's like a pre-mulched bed. But if you don't wait long enough, then it is a weed in your bed and it can be pretty annoying. So you might see what look like seed heads of the winter rye and wonder, aren't they just going to reseed themselves and won't this become a field of weedy rye? The answer is no, because we terminated this cover crop when the winter rye was flowering but had not yet produced mature seeds. And that's the ideal time to terminate any kind of cover crop. When it's flowering, so it's getting ready to make seeds, a lot of its energy is up and in the above ground parts of the plant, but it hasn't actually made mature seeds yet. So even though this looks like a seed head, it's softer and squishier. It doesn't have hard seeds inside of it. So it's not going to reseed itself. You can use really whatever you have lying around to hold down the weed fabric. It's important to weigh it down because it will blow away in the winds. What we like to use are sandbags, usually just full of soil. If you have gravel around, you can put gravel in them. They're also UV stabilized, so make sure you get UV stabilized sandbags because then they won't shred and decompose in the light and you can use them over and over again. We also had some T-posts here from a previous year's trellis, so use those too. I've used pieces of lumber, rocks, bricks, really whatever you have lying around. They do sell landscape staples, and we have used those. A lot of people like them. Make sure you get really long ones. I find that a combination of staples and sandbags works, but just the staples end up getting pulled up because we live in a windy area. So depending on how much wind you have and how big of a piece, the bigger the piece, the bigger the sail, and the more force it will pull up the staples with if wind gets under it. So just a small piece, maybe staples would be fine. If you want to learn more about cover crops, about mulch, about soil tending, about seed starting, and so much more, you can comment GROW to learn more about our online gardening school. And also upcoming next spring, Natalie and I have a comprehensive holistic gardening book coming out that we've been working on for several years that we're really excited about. So stay tuned to hear more about that.